Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Miss Jonilee, and I'm going to do a recorded project with you. This lesson is going to be in watercolor resist method. It's wintertime birch trees. The materials we're going to be using for this project are an 8.5 by 11 sheet of watercolor paper, watercolor sets, brushes, a water container, one roll of masking tape, a Q-tip, and a charcoal pencil. On the example that I'm showing you, I made 5 trees. You don't have to do that many. You may choose to do 2 trees. So I'm going to show you how to get started. Okay, the first thing we need to do is start to mask off where we would like our snow line. So I'm going to take the tape. Nice about masking tape is you do not have to use a scissors. You can just cut it or just tear it. I would like my snow line to have a little curve in it. So as I'm working with my tape, I'm going to keep bending it and rubbing it down. Remembering where the tape is always going to be the white of the paper. So the trees and the snow are going to be white. I'm going to put my second layer of snow below the first. I want to make sure that none of the watercolor paper is showing. Okay, now I have my snow, and I'm going to start with my tree. So I'm rubbing this in very good. And I'm going to start with my first birch tree. And I'm going to offset it a little bit rather than right in the middle. I'm going to make 2 trees for you today. But like I said, you can do 2, you can do up to 5, however many you feel like making. So I have my tree trunks. Like I said, I'm rubbing it in so that no watercolors will seep under the tape. Now I'm going to start with my branches. And for this part, you're going to have to tear your tape into little pieces. And I'm going to start at the bottom of the tree. Add the branches. It's okay if your tape runs off the top of the page. After you finish taping, make sure you take your finger and again make sure the tape is nice and smooth against the watercolor paper. I'm going to start painting. When you do your watercolor, you can do sunrise, you could do a sunset, you could do a winter sky. I'm going to make a sort of getting into my blues, like a darker blue winter sky. Get some dark purples in here. And when you're painting, you can go right up to the watercolor, right up to the masking tape. It's okay to paint right over the masking tape, but you want to make sure you get everything in between. When the paper's wet, I can keep adding other colors. Be blending while the paper is wet. If you note, the brush I'm using is not very small because I want to cover a large area. Now we have to let the watercolor paints dry before we remove the masking tape. The watercolor paint has dried. Now it's time to remove all of the masking tape. You need to do this very carefully, holding your paper. I'm going to start to peel back. Tape is removed, and now it's time to use the charcoal pencil and the Q-tip. So what we want to do is recreate the birch tree bark. Birch trees are white trees in the winter. They show up very nice in the winter, and you see them a lot. We're going to use the charcoal to imitate the birch bark. So what I'm going to do is start outlining a little bit. I'm going to add some knots in the tree, some little horizontal lines. And as I do this, I'm going to use my Q-tip to help soften these. This gives the illusion, it shades the tree, softens the bark. I'm going to do this on both trees. I'm even going to go into the snow a little bit because I want this tree to look like it's in front of the other tree. Just going to soften a little bit with the Q-tip. And there we have our watercolor resist birch trees. Like I said, you can do 2 trees. You can do up to as many as you would like. I just did 2 for the sake of time. But again, if you would like to make more, you could make more trees. And I hope you enjoy this lesson.